Hello, welcome to Monte Carlo to Marlow. This podcast is sponsored by the Marlow Living Loyalty app. So welcome today, Alicia Sedgwick. Thank you for joining us on Monte Carlo to Marlow. And we're actually filming in Marius restaurant, which is superbly positioned just at the port in Monte Carlo. So we couldn't be in a better place. Now, you're not from Monte Carlo. When we chatted, it was really interesting that you did live by the sea in Essex. So tell me where you're from.
I am from Leigh-on-Sea in Essex, yes. And so I grew up being by the sea, but it was a somewhat different sea to this one.
Quite different. We were saying when we that what is it about the channel why is it grey and Mediterranean is blue?
Yes. Yeah, always grey. Yeah. I could never have imagined, though, that I would be living next to the Mediterranean. I mean, my dream when I was young was to be living on a place called the Marine Parade in Leigh-on-Sea, because that looked out onto the estuary. And now I look out onto the Mediterranean, blue sea, blue skies, mountains.
Blue's obviously your colour.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It's heavenly.
It is beautiful here, isn't it?
Yes.
So if we go back to what you were doing as your career when you were in England before you came to Monaco, what did you study and what did you plan to be?
Well, I actually studied law and sociology at Warwick University. And I did law and sociology because I loved it, law because I thought that I would have a career at the end of my degree. And indeed, that's what happened, because I went on to do my law finals and my articles, as it was then. Now it's a training contract. And I qualified to be a solicitor. So I became a lawyer, and I worked, first of all, in a firm in West-on-Sea, actually. And I started with the partner of that firm. He started his own practice, and it was him and I. I did my articles with him and 4 other staff. When I left, we had 100 staff and 4 partners.
That's amazing. And you were obviously part of that growth, because you can't not be in such a small firm.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And the sociology obviously comes in really useful, because you kind of manage people, haven't you? It's not just your clients, it's the people within the company.
Yes, yeah. It was a very, very good degree. It was actually the first of its kind. I was the second intake at Warwick for that degree. And it was excellent, really excellent. It gave me such a good grounding for everything that I did then going forward. Wonderful.
So you were working in law, and then you started to work in family law.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I eventually specialised in family law, and then went to other law firms. Eventually, ended up with who I thought was a friend, and joined him in his practice. He disappeared for a year, and I ran the practice whilst he was away. And when he came back, he came to see me, and I thought he was going to come to see me to say, "Oh, well done, thank you so much." And he actually said, "I don't think that this is working out. I think that you should give me back the keys to the office, the car, your phone, and one day you're going to thank me for this." So I was left, it was just before Christmas in 1995, and I was left with nothing.
Wow.
Couldn't get my files. I couldn't get back into the firm. And silly me, I thought he was a friend, so I didn't have a partnership agreement.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing.
Always have your agreements.
Always get your papers.
Absolutely. I didn't practice when I preached. So at that time was at a point, would I give up the law altogether and do something else, or continue on my own? And so I decided, why should I lose all of the work that I have experienced, dedicated to? So in January 1996, I set up on my own from home. My mum was my secretary, Dad was the accountant. And gradually, all of my clients found me, came back to me, and then they brought their family and friends, and it grew and grew and grew. But the wonderful thing was, being that I was on my own, only mum and dad to answer for.
You could trust this time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the best.
In a way, though, when he said, "You're thankful for it,"
I actually did.
he actually was telling the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the time, that was far from every thought, but as it happened, I do think.
We never know, do we, as one door closes and the other one opens. Sometimes it just takes a bit longer for the other one to open.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it opened out, well, a whole new world, because I had come on holiday to the south of France. And on that holiday, I met a couple of South African ladies, and I used to come back and forth to see them. And eventually they introduced me to my wife now, who had met them as well, unbeknownst to me. So on July the 4th, 1996, unbeknownst to me, they introduced me to my incredible Annette. And it was July the 4th.
I know, we said
Yeah.
it's your own
American Independence Day. And
It's the
actually,
Independence Day.
well, Alicia and Annette Independence Day, because the wonderful thing is that with her, we are very independent, but we are also very together, yes. So it was very significant, July the 4th. So I used to come backwards and forwards to then see her. Munda and Annette, the South African ladies, actually went back to South Africa. So when I was here, I would do everything other than law, which isn't that I was then acting illegally or unlawfully, but I had my own events business, absolutely Monte Carlo. I worked on events like Marius World Sports Awards, and I travelled the world with them, managing the red carpet for them, talent managing. And I also had my own internet show, which was Asking Alicia, and that dealt with issues and how they impact on the family. And I had my own radio show too. So it was marked extremely
Wasn't it
busy.
exactly a holiday every time you came
It
back?
was never a holiday, because I was still running my law practice too.
In the back of your mind, when you were setting up and sort of, having fingers in lots of different pies, were you thinking, I'm building a life here to live here? Was that in the front or the back of your mind, do you think?
Don't think that it was in my mind.
Okay.
I was very much just in those moments.
Okay.
Because it was a lot. I wanted that we would not be apart for longer than 2 weeks, 3 weeks at most. And so coming backwards and forwards, and still running my law practice and then doing the other work, it was a lot.
Yeah.
As it happened, I was very patient, because I actually did that for 16 years.
What?
16 years, because I was very, very close to my mum and dad. And my brother died when he was 18 and I was 15. And we were very close before.
Yeah.
But after that, very, very close. So I didn't want to leave mum and dad.
No.
So it took until they died for me to actually come here full time.
Yeah.
But the wonderful thing was that, having come backwards and forwards for all that time, I was then very established here. And so I began to teach one class of public speaking and presentation skills at the International University of Monaco to a class of undergrads. And that then grew and grew to several classes of undergrads and master's students, MBA students. And there I developed my communication coaching from there. So over that time there, in the last really 12 years that I've been here full time, I have now developed my communication coaching. So it is to students, to adults, it's to corporations, associations, individuals, and also at the International School of Monaco, where I teach and train students, and I also project manage their TEDx youth event.
Yeah, you just had one this weekend. Didn't
We
you?
did,
Yeah.
yes. It was our fourth one.
Amazing.
It's the only TED event now, because I was the MC for TEDx Monte Carlo, which gave me the experience as TEDx Youth. And it was immensely successful. I'm so proud. Our student speakers, student organising committee. This time we had an adult teacher and a parent as well. And it was on the theme of the power of perspective. And it was very powerful.
What age are the kids that are speaking at?
11 to 16.
Gosh, I mean,
Yes.
that's brilliant for them to do that, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that's just going to grow and grow, isn't it? You're in your 4th year.
Yes.
And supporting young children and their confidence has just got to be something that's so rewarding for you to do.
It is. When I was a lawyer, Krista, what I loved about being a lawyer was that I could help people. But it was always very limited because it was within the confines of the law.
Yeah.
And as we know, the law is not always just or fair. Now, in my work, I can help people without limitation. The only limitations are those that they place upon themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm here to remove those and those obstacles. So now I am working where I can truly help people. And it is actually transformative. My students on the weekend, for example, said to me, Alicia, you've changed my life. Yeah, to have the confidence that they now have and to actually tell me that, it's incredible.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to get onto your books because we're almost forgetting the fact that you've also written 2 books. But this was the first one, Communicating Through Change. And what was the inspiration to, I mean, lessons learned from real life? You can actually get this on Amazon Audible as well, because I checked that out before.
Thank you, yes.
And so talk about, obviously, you'd embraced so much change. Was it just your personal experience or was it from lots of conversations with other people?
I think that originally it was because I'm all about helping people. What I wanted to do was to talk about my experiences of change and what I learnt from those. And then in the book, I give communication techniques to help people through the same or similar experiences of change. So there have been a lot of changes in my life. Yes, changing countries, actually changing. I was married to a man, now I'm married to a woman, changing through grief, through loss, losing my brother at an early age, losing my parents then. And
There's lots of things that other people can relate to as well.
yes,
which
yes.
is inspiring for other people to just see how radiant and amazing you look and how happy you are.
Thank you.
And I think that, when we're in the middle of something, when we're in the middle of grief, you don't always see the other side, do you?
No. And I think to be able to help people to see that you can go through it, you can come through it, and you can communicate through it.
Yeah.
Because I'm all about communication as well as helping people through the communication. Also, I've had a lot of health issues, so being able to come through all of that too. So that was the inspiration for that book, and also to express my vulnerabilities. Again, to help people to know that it is okay for you to do that.
Was that quite hard for you to write?
It was.
You've got to dig deep, really, haven't you?
Yes.
To put
yes.
that on paper.
Yes. I found some of it very difficult because I also speak about experience of abuse. And so getting that out, yes, it was quite hard, but it was also cathartic to be able to do that. And actually what was lovely was that I had not spoken about that to anyone. And a lot of the experiences I haven't. So even for Annette to see that and to be able to then know and understand, it was very, very important.
What do you think about, obviously not everybody can publish a book, or they can if they want to self-publish, but what are your thoughts on journaling and writing things down to help people get over, or to try and not manifest, it's the wrong word, it's overused a bit now, but writing down a focus and writing down things that you can look forward to? What kind of things would you say are like coping mechanisms in your book?
Thank you. Yes, I do think it is very important. I think that it's very good to write things down. For example, if you feel that you are angry with somebody and you need to express that, but not reacting in that moment, really good. Take a step back, write it down.
Or those letters that you don't send.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, sometimes you may say them, but it's actually very good to write them. Not only when you're angry, but also when you're upset.
And it's not always the first draft that goes.
No. No, write it. And also I think, have that conversation. Sometimes when we lose a loved one and we feel that there are unfinished conversations. So I suggest that actually you have that conversation. Think of them as being in the chair opposite you and talk to them. You don't actually even have to imagine that they're in that chair opposite. Just talk to them. And it really is helpful to get those conversations
your
out.
brain responds whether you are having a conversation with the other person or not if you say the words out loud. So it's actually really, really useful to get it out, as you say.
Yes. I always say that it's better out than in.
Absolutely.
And so, however you can get it out, get it.
Yeah.
Even if that means that occasionally you go away and you go somewhere and maybe you're by the sea and you just shout and scream, let it out. Don't let it fester. Don't let it be within you.
It's so bad for you, isn't it?
Yes.
It can really make you ill.
Yeah.
When you talk about confidence, it makes me think of a conversation we had before we were recording. And I asked you about how you got involved in London 2012 Olympics. And you said, well, someone else told me about that job and I didn't think I was qualified for it. Talk about how actually you were really qualified for it, but it didn't really come from you. It came from someone else.
Yes, it was wonderful. Actually, again, a very dear friend said to me that there's this role as international press moderator for the Olympics, and I think that you should go for it. And I said, well, I've never done anything like that, let alone for the Olympics. So she said, but look at the role requirements. Look what is needed in that role. And then match your experience and your skills to those role requirements. And I did that, and she was absolutely right. Indeed, I did have the skills and the experience to match everything that job needed. So I went for the interview, and indeed I got it. And I was the international press moderator for the basketball finals and also the artistic gymnastics. And it was the most incredible experience.
It was amazing.
But that was really down to her recognizing that indeed I could do it. So now I do say to my students, or even to my clients as well, if you are looking to do a job, and maybe it's different to what you have done before, look at the role specification, look at the job requirements, match your skills and experience, and you will find that, yes, you can do that job.
Yeah, have the confidence.
Yes.
And just to give some tips and advice to people, because obviously I can't let you go without sharing what you are sharing with your students about public speaking and having that confidence, because a lot of people really, even just in a meeting room in front of 5 or 6 people really clam up and they haven't really got that sort of confidence to speak. What would you say as some takeaways for people? Just some really easy tips for people to take with them if they've got to do anything that makes them nervous?
Right. I would say the first thing to know is that whenever you communicate, first of all, it's a conversation. People forget that when they are public speaking or presenting, that it's a presentation and immediately there's this fear and they clam up and it's stress. It's still a conversation. Okay, it's a bit one-sided, but you are still having a conversation and you are in control and in command of that conversation, that communication. It is yours. I don't know what you're going to say, so I don't know if you make a mistake.
Yeah, that's really interesting when I heard you say that, because unless you point it out, which obviously some people nervously do.
Yes.
No one knew your script.
No, exactly.
Yes.
So nobody knows what your conversation is. Nobody knows what you're going to say unless you apologize, you start fumbling. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. So you are in control and in command. And the other point I would say is that whenever you communicate, it is never about you. It's about whoever you're talking to. So the onus is off of you because it's how you want the other person or people to feel, think, or do as a result of all communication. So if you are shy, if you are scared, it's not about you. It's about whoever you're talking to. And you want them to feel comfortable, relaxed, engaged, interested, and involved. So you're going to do everything to make that person feel great. So if you approach them, you don't look at them, you're all huddled up, you're stressed, you're tight, that's not going to put them at ease.
Yeah.
So come to them with power, stand in your power pose, in your light, approach them, engage with them, look at them, and they will feel great and you'll feel so much better too.
What's your little tip about noticing 3 things in the room and trying to sort of distract yourself from the nerves just before you're about to talk?
Yes, well, that's really in situations where you feel very anxious and very stressed. So in those moments when you feel that high anxiety and you're sort of, I can't breathe and it's really, really stressful. In that moment, you find 3 things in the room and you spot them and you say, okay, table, chair, drink,
Super yacht.
if you happen to be on the terrace of Marius in Monaco, and in Monaco, that's very true. So 3 things that you can see, 3 sounds that you can hear, and then move 3 parts of your body. So shake a hand, shake a leg, maybe move your head. So 3 things that you can see, name them. 3 sounds that you can hear, name them. Move 3 parts of your body.
So, Alicia, the book Being, what was the inspiration? Because I know the story. I want you to tell the story better than me. Of we're human beings, more being, less doing. Tell us the inspiration for writing this book.
Thank you again. Yes. So it was actually in the new year, this year, unbelievably, actually. I was with very dear friends in Roquebrune Village, Fraser and Chocanal on their sunny terrace. And Emily said to me and her mum, what is your word for the year? And her mum, Linda, said, gratitude. And I said, yes, I can relate to that. And Em said, rest. But she wasn't entirely happy with that because it didn't really fit what she wanted for the year, which was that she didn't feel compelled to do it. And I said, yes, we are human beings, not human doers. And that brought us to being. And that then was the word for the year for me and actually for them too. And I then thought about all of the ways of being that we should be and we can be. Being kind, being confident, being brave, being playful, being happy, being well. And so I then wrote all of those ways of being to remind everyone that we can be and not do, to bring us back to calm, and also to give guidance in how we can be kind, how we can be well, and our well-being, how we can be playful and happy. So it does give my personal experience, but it also gives experience of my clients, friends and family, to be able to help everyone relate to those experiences and to be able to stop being so frenetic.
Yeah, it's a reminder to ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
very much so. Amazing. Well, there's 2 books that you can find of Alicia's, which will be credited in our show notes as well.
Thank you.
And just to finish up, because we've had some advice and tips from you about speaking, which is really valuable for a lot of people that get really nervous. Just the final, because Monte Carlo to Marlow is about sort of what's your plan, but where are you really? Now, your plan was obviously law and Lyon Sea. You wanted to be by the sea. And here you are in beautiful south of France. Is this it? Is this where you're going to stay? What's next? I mean, have you found your happy place?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, Krista, I have certainly found my happy place. I have found my sanctuary, my peace, my haven, and really a little bit of heaven here on earth. So there are no plans to move from here, and there is every plan to continue to be And I hope to help people in the way that I am doing, and having really a positive impact on everyone's lives that I encounter.
Any more books, do you think?
I don't know. You know, I never ever thought that I would write one book, let alone two. So who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for speaking to us today, Alicia. And thank you to the team at Marius as well for letting us record in their beautiful restaurant.
Thank you so much. Thank you.